We are on. Welcome back. I'm very excited. We have another great week of high school football to talk about. I'm going to fiddle with my phone here while I try to find this live and share it to the world. Guys, if you can find us out there, follow us. Facebook is where we actually broadcast. Are we on YouTube too, Jeff?
Correct.
Facebook, YouTube. I know it's probably a little confusing because our primary mode of communication is on the Instagram page.
Yes.
But we actually broadcast onto those two platforms through Findlay, through the Bullhead Laughlin News. So we appreciate you guys. We've had pretty good response from people watching the show. We had a lot of fun. We actually got to go watch a few games this week.
Yes, got to go to Lake Havasu and Lee Williams on Thursday, and then got to go to the River Bowl on Friday. I was stopped by multiple parents from all four schools over the week talking how much they love the show.
They must not like my takes as much. They didn't say nothing to me. This guy doesn't know nothing.
Maybe I'm a little more approachable. Your stature, very intimidating guy. Very intimidating.
But I think that's great to hear, and it's a lot of fun. That was kind of our intent, is to put our football world on the map, maybe even open up the worlds a little bit where, Kingman is Kingman, Havasu is Havasu, Bullhead is Bullhead, and everybody stays in their little bubble. And really, it's a very small world. It's a very small, intertwined football world, and I'm really happy we got to do that. We have a little bit of breaking news to me that I wanted to talk about that you just told me. Go ahead and kind of break that news for us.
Yeah, so a couple days ago, Wickenburg has let go of their head coach, Jay Nunez. Wickenburg, this is a big deal for us Mojave schools because Kingman and River still have to play Wickenburg this year. And Coach Carter, their DC, has been named the interim.
Who's been there for a long time.
He's been there for a while. You and I both know
really
him.
Active on Twitter. I appreciate the hell out of that.
I like the guy a lot. I think he's a good guy. I'm rooting for the best for him, but Wickenburg's been in a tough spot. I mean, these first 4 weeks being outscored.
And they just got a new coach. You're 3 weeks in, and now you're starting over. That's probably not a great time.
0-4 start to the season and being outscored 252-13.
Yeah, and that's coming off of a pretty tough Wickenburg team last year. I think they had high hopes. I think maybe they undervalued that running back they had last year, who really did a great job on both sides of the ball. But if you guys have any information on this, I'd love to know what you're hearing out there. If this is really just about a bus driver incident, which
verbal confrontation is what we were told.
Everyone who's ever traveled on these buses know it is really tough making these trips. Mm-hmm. The bus drivers are in a tough spot. The teams are in a tough spot. The kids are anxious. Like, you can't be having altercations with your bus drivers.
Right.
But I've known there's some bus drivers who have been really difficult to ride with.
Definitely. And some of these drives, we're talking, for going to Yuma or the Navajo reservation, 5-6 hours.
Right, 5-6 hours, and most bus drivers are pretty cool, great guys. They put a lot of restrictions and pressure on these bus drivers,
especially more lately, just with the hours
and so
restrictions.
I don't know what the story is. I'd love to know if anybody has any insight as to what actually happened or if that is true. You hate to hear it because at the end of the day, who suffers?
The kids.
The kids. Yeah. The kids suffer, whether it be on the actual bus trip, having to start over with another coach. Luckily, they got a coach in place that kind of will have some carryover. Yeah. But, you just hate to hear it.
Yeah.
And
Coach Carter, he's been there for a long time. Great guy. He's been their DC for a while. And Wickenburg has always had a solid defense. Mm-hmm. I've always joked that they are the best tackling team in the state because they use live javelinas at practice.
We used to always joke they were always busy rodeoing, so they were definitely good at tackling. So I don't know if they'd be rodeoing or not, but they are always a tough team. Hopefully, they find a little light in their season. They get that coaching situation sorted out, and I know that guy is a great dude, very passionate about it, loves it, wanted the job in the first place, nothing but the best to him.
Yep. We're rooting for you, Coach.
Yeah. Yep. We knew they had a tough start to the season, and a lot of people were really excited about that Lee Williams game, and I think we all kind of knew that's not the game you guys think it's going to be. Like, that's a rough one for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So sometimes the expectations don't meet, and then you get a little bit of an avalanche effect where maybe now the kids are frustrated, the parents are frustrated, the school's frustrated, and it just piles up, and something like this is straw breaks camel's back. So that's all speculation. I have no idea.
And then losing 52-7 to Parker doesn't help either. Losing the Axe, one of the few rivalry trophies around here. Yeah.
And Parker's tough. I mean, Parker has historically been tough. I know they had a little dip. They dropped. They bumped up in 3A for I think a year.
A year, yeah.
Really rough time.
We lost to them that year. That was the loss that kept us out of the playoffs back in 2017.
Didn't you hate those ones that haunt you? So
Oh,
that was,
absolutely.
I think, John's sophomore year
Yeah,
against
2022,
Wickenburg.
yeah.
When we lost, we should have beat Wickenburg at home. You know, John got tackled from behind, tweaked his knee. We fell apart after that. And those are the games that haunt you, stick in there forever. We're not football coaches. We don't hold on to things forever.
Oh, totally not. Totally not. Yeah.
So in addition to that, I actually saw something on Facebook I tagged you in last night that I thought was kind of cool, really weird. I didn't know what to make of it.
The math is unique.
If you have that standard newspaper, which first of all, let me say this. I think it's great that the Standard is jumping into covering more sports. The more, the better.
Yeah.
And I just saw this, and it just struck me funny.
So I recall they did
Do
this
you have that
last
chart
year.
from the Standard, Jeff?
They did this last year too, and Malk, I recall, won it, and the Academy finished second. And
Yeah,
the
it's like
Academy,
so sorry, it's a little cut off there, but it's like a school ranking overall for sports with multiple sports, like no divisions,
the
no
Big Six.
scale,
Yeah.
no
strength of schedule put into it. It's
I
cool.
don't know, it's weird, man.
But it's
I guess,
also
you know.
unique because like Mojave's got 1,000 points because their football team's undefeated currently. Their volleyball team, not so much.
Just got their first win.
Got their first win.
Shout out
So
to,
that has not been updated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of first win, did you see that Kofa just got their first win
Yes, I
in
did.
like 1,000 days?
It's their first win in 27 games. It's their first home victory in 8 years. The last time Kofa won a home game, they beat Lee Williams in 2017.
No way.
Yeah.
I love the historical data because I was just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And listen, I know that they were once a very dominant school. So when I was in school, Kofa was a tough. You saw them on the schedule.
Yeah,
That
they
was
were
a
one
tough
of the better schools in the Yuma area, but since 2009, when Yuma Catholic came along, it has affected the other high schools in that area.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I think they beat Alhambra,
Yes, they did beat Alhambra, who we'll be talking about later today.
who used to be an Arizona powerhouse.
Yep.
Like the times they are changing. So
Times are changing.
anyway, guys, that's kind of the just 5,000-foot view of wild things going on in the sports world. Let's jump into the local things. Kicking it off with the River Bowl. Both got a chance to sit and watch that game. It was a little bit of a sloppy affair.
It's hard to sugarcoat it. It was
I saw
rough.
the referee icing his arm after the game, and I was like, man, you threw that many flags, fella? Like,
I don't think we went 5 plays without a flag.
yeah, I wish I could have had a better view to see what they were seeing. I've never seen so many false starts.
Yeah, the false starts, that's just was losing their center Alvarado that much of a deal for River.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I think it was, and I don't even recall necessarily that we're particularly. I think it was maybe one bad snap from the replacement center. So shout out to that young man for stepping in for a senior, doing a great job. But they lost him and Mikey Gonzalez, 2 starters on the O-line, going into a game like that. And I don't know if you noticed, but Deacon Maish was not out there in his number 0 because he played tackle for most of the game.
Yep.
On short notice, both left and right side, and him and Talon were dominant on their side.
You remember that first drive of the game, like even with like 6 false start penalties, River Valley went down the field
like
and
a
just
14-yard
took
or 14-play
8
drive.
minutes off the clock in the first quarter to score the opening touchdown of the game.
Right, it really was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they picked up on it, and everything takes a toll. Both those teams are actually very, very thin on personnel. And shout out to River Valley for being flexible, moving people around. I think the 2 young brothers were playing slightly out of position, really stepped up, did a nice job. Like I said, I know I'm singing the kids' praises. I'm very partial. I've known him since he's a young man. But Deacon stepped up, played some of the best tackle I've seen, especially run blocking. I mean, really a dominant job. And that really like piggybacks off of what he was doing blocking out of the backfield. But to jump into that position and those 2, I mean, if you saw those 2 stacked on the same side, they were the where that play was going. We got Fly in here, you kidding me? And I might slip and drop my first F-bomb if we have flies in here. That'll drive me crazy. And then you go to the other, you had them split, him and Talon, and more often than not, it was a pass play or something middle where they were not necessarily where the focus of the play was. And really a testament to those guys. I don't know what caused all the penalties, if it was just a little bit of timing off with the quarterback center or what it was. But we say all that to say Mojave held on, won, had a very Mojave-like performance. Scrappy, gutty, took a 14-play drive.
Yeah, the first half, Mojave's passing game was non-existent for the most part. A lot of overthrows, a lot of drop balls, but it came alive in the second half with our play of the week.
Yeah, this really was a crucial key play that they really needed, a big-time throw and catch. Yeah. So when you get this queued up, check out this. This is our play of the week right here. This is Joe Yoni to Anthony Moses. Tony. Contested, goes up and gets it. Now, I don't know if you know, Tony's 6'4", 6'5" already. That's great coverage. I mean, you see 10. Play that again, Jeff.
Yeah.
You see 10 put his hands on it. It's pretty good. Safety came over as fast as he could. I mean, shout out, play of the week. Really, one of the few things that broke that thing open. Yeah. It was a grind from start to finish in that game, and really they needed that play at that time.
Yeah, no, River gave them everything they could handle, and if it wasn't for a couple miscues, you had the 65-yard fumble return, and then in the fourth quarter again, in that same end zone on the 1-yard line, fumbling on the one again, going into the end zone for the touchback. That was the one that broke the camel's back. And then in the live moment, I could not tell if he had crossed the plane or not, but looking back at the replay, like he was in the air as the Mojave guy stripped the fumble around the 1-2-yard line. And it's just, those hurt, man.
You know, and I'm sure that as Coach King watches that game back and he watches, the fumbles have to be a little concerning. Even the ones they recover, the ball's coming out a lot. And that's a team that's really dependent on control, possession. You can't afford turnovers. No one in football can afford turnovers, but if you're more explosive, a little more dynamic, you can get away with it. And, you guys got to shore that ball up a little bit, and
Definitely.
I think things will
Especially with
settle
that
down.
ground and pound style, you need to.
And nothing will get you healthier or get you right faster than playing Oi on a Saturday after a game like that. So I'm sure they're going to unleash hell on Odyssey Institute.
Yep.
We call them the Oi.
But yes.
And I also want to shout out, Mojave played tough defense like that.
They did.
They gave him everything they could handle, and Deegan Perry had another game-sealing interception, very much like he did in that shovel game. And so shout out to Deegan Perry, senior linebacker from Mojave. He's done a great job. I don't know how many interceptions he has over the years, but he's been making that play about as well as anyone I've seen over the years. So congratulations to Mojave. Mojave winning the River Bowl for the fourth time.
Year. Yep.
Shovel for the third straight year.
Yep.
Really is.
Do we have the pictures from the River Bowl, Jeff?
Yeah, I think we have one with the team posing.
I believe we have two pictures.
But it really is a nice cap to what that group has done locally in football. They have been as good a Mojave group as you have seen probably since, the early 90s, before my time with Moses Love era.
In my time, probably ever.
Yeah. I know that we always go back to the 1970 whatever championship
73
team.
championship, yeah.
Unfortunately, none of us were alive for that, and so this is kind of the Mojave team that sets the tone for what could be at that school. So
definitely.
Great job, fellas. Did you find that picture? Yeah. So leave that up there for just a second. Let me give you a little breakdown of what's going on there. So that's Joe Yoni's dad. He's been with us doing youth football since the Vipers on their side, Firebirds on our side. Matt Maish is what I kind of call the godfather of modern football in the Colorado River area. Justin's got kids all through the program, been with us forever. Big Adam, I think it's a Montgomery in the back. You got a lot of local football in that one picture right there that you're seeing on these fields today. And then some old guy with a gray beard, I don't know what that guy's doing. And my sweet baby girl who gets dragged around with me everywhere, who is so irritated that I talk to everyone I see. And there's the post-game picture. really a proud group. I mean, you got a lot of whatever you can to describe that group, but I'll tell you, they are proud, they are scrappy, they find a way to get it done. I mean, I think they're the most unconventional group in terms, like, how would you describe Mojave football with that group?
There's a toughness to them that you don't see from most other schools, and they have a chip on their shoulder. I definitely say that.
Yes,
There's definitely we kind of have a similar. Our Kingman teams are very similar, but you guys had a giant chip, and it's just you play like that every
I
week.
will tell you, those kids, obviously not all, but the tone of the team is they live with a chip on their shoulder. They play with an edge. They are very, I think we said early in the year, they hit hard, they're nasty, they play with an edge, and that is what keeps them in games when they don't have their best game. And when they put it all together, they're as good as any team can be.
Yep.
And a lot of fun watching them. Congratulations, fellas. We'll talk about what they got coming up next.
Last undefeated team in the county.
Yeah, and they got a big one coming up this week, and it'll be a real measuring stick for where they land in the region for them.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Really exciting times. We also got to go catch
the Thursday night game.
the Thursday. Listen, I'm so pumped when there's a Thursday, Friday, and or Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm not pumped that River Valley's playing Oi.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think it's going to be a good game. I think they're going to.
My
favorite phrase is beat the brakes off of them, but
right.
You never know. That's why we played a game.
Oi has been surprising this year. I believe they're 3-1
They're
right
improved,
now.
for sure.
Because Oi, since 2020, has kind of fallen off a little bit because they were the only high school, I believe, that did not play the 2020 season. They intentionally sat out, and that put the program years back. But they bounced around. But let's talk about our Thursday night game. Lee Williams versus Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu pulled it out 28-21.
And one of the few games where we picked separate.
Yes.
And I took the L.
You did take the L.
Not pumped
that
on
right.
that, Coach. Not pumped on taking the L here, but I will say it was a very good game.
Yes.
A lot of great moments, pivotal plays. Really, it was. It ended up being a defensive affair.
It did. Like, we had 2 pick sixes from Lee Williams, cornerback Cooper Cronk. We got video from one of them. Here we'll show.
Yes, sir. Great play.
Yep.
Little miscommunication. Never doubt.
Far sideline, intercepted, total miscommunications by Lee Williams.
Now listen, I'm a big
And they are
quarterback, but we got to work on them tackling skills. Like you tackled like a wide receiver there.
Yeah.
You gotta flip that hat. You got to go do both.
We know Halo plays DB.
I got some good things to say about Halo later, so we won't talk about the tackling too much. Shout out to that Lee Williams defense. I think they had 2 pick sixes.
They did.
Havasu had that young DB who also kicks, I think.
Yes.
Had a really nice
Really
pick.
nice game.
Great job. But really it was converting a couple of ugly downs and distances and really, really aggressive defense. I mean, once Havasu pinned their ears back and they put pressure on, it really bottled up that run game, put the quarterback in a tough spot, and probably not what they were expecting in that game based on some of the other stuff you'd seen.
Yeah, that first half, Lee Williams was running the ball well with least. They were averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry. You had the pick sixes that kept them in the game. And then that second half, the run game, the run defense stepped up, and then the pass rush for Lake Havasu just showed up in that third and fourth quarter. Yeah,
it was a real fun game to watch, the ebb and flow of all the football. My hat's off to Lake Havasu for really, just being gamers about it. They kind of rose to the occasion. Lee Williams kind of came down, opened with a pick six.
Yes.
Could have went any way from there.
Yep.
Weathered the storm in the first half and then battled. And my hat's off to that defense. And we'll get to our player of the week here in a second. But I really like watching this kid play quarterback.
I enjoy watching Halo play quarterback. 20 for 36, 269 yards. A lot of that on rollouts.
Yeah.
He's got 5-6 seconds to throw with his speed to the outside. 1 passing touchdown, 3 interceptions. Need to work on that part, but definitely.
But you know why I like it?
Why?
Because he's a gunslinger.
He is.
He keeps his eye. He scrambles. He buys time. Keeps his eyes downfield, and he takes shots. And with that risk, of course, comes some interceptions, things like that. Right. But without him playing that aggressively, that one throw he had down, I think it was down the slot. It was almost a back shoulder. So that's not who we're talking about here. was a big-time throw. And obviously, I believe it was that young man who made the catch.
Yeah.
And that kept them in the game because they were in some ugly down and distances.
It did. No. I had the chance to talk to Cooper Cronk. He sat next to me at the River Bowl on Friday, and we talked a little bit about that game. And he complimented that Lake Havasu, their team is just full of really good football players. There isn't one or two standouts. They're all just really good.
Yeah, absolutely. So we put a little video together for our Player of the Week, and we'll talk a little bit more about this game, but I think Jeff already popped it up there. Do you have the video?
Yep.
So guys, check this out. This is a little something for our player.
Carter's wide open. Give it to him. Carter's wide open. Give it to him.
This young man ended up with 7 catches, 190 yards. I mean, those are big downfield conversions in traffic.
107 yards, touchdown. Our Player of the Week this week.
Our Player of the Week, you know, you can throw it all you want, nobody catches it, it doesn't matter. So, huge play, and like you look at those were not 2-yard throws and run, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great part of football.
Right.
Those are contested, those are downfield, those are on ugly down and distances. Every one of those catches made a difference, especially in a tight defensive game like that. I can only imagine how frustrated Coach Regan was sitting there going, we got them where we want them. They're throwing a tough, contested ball, and this kid came up, made play time and time again. Shout out, young man, Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Great job. And anything surprise you in that game?
No, I mean, what surprised me was the Lee Williams offensive line in that second half definitely had issues with the Havasu pass rush. I was impressed that Havasu bounced back after a tough shovel game. Previous years, their coaches had talked about shovel hangover, which did not happen this week. The kids came ready to play, and they showed up.
It looked like it was happening right away.
At first.
They really, little mental toughness. They hung in there and battled and made that the game it was and put themselves in a position to come back and end up winning that thing. So I'll tell you what I really enjoyed is you have two teams. They were ranked fairly evenly, kind of coming from different places, but it was really a great barometer for where they are all at. I think I would love to hear from Coach Regan. I'm sure he's not in the mood to comment currently. Maybe he is. I bet you he learned a hell of a lot more about his team this week in this game than he did,
First two, yeah.
Yeah, running roughshod over a couple teams early. That was probably fun, but I think he knows those are the types of games where he's going to sharpen the axe and make the changes, adjustments, and get better for the long run of the football season.
I agree. I mean, the first 2 weeks you were facing fairly run-heavy offenses, and Havasu probably has the best passing game of the 8 schools in the county, I would argue. So seeing a team that throws the ball like Havasu and seeing where you can improve.
Right. Well,
big barometer for them.
And as you look at it, I mean, every one of those catches are not breakdowns in coverage.
The guys are there.
They're there. They're well coached. They're doing the right thing, so you've got to find a little bit of maybe something in your pass rush to keep quarterbacks in the pocket, maybe something in your pass rush to not let them be as comfortable as they were. But you learn a lot more from that game than you ever do from a 50-0 game.
Right.
I think we have all been on both sides of those, but you don't learn a lot from that. You kind of go out, run what you want. You look like a genius every play. And real coaches love a game like this where you see who steps up, who, bends, doesn't breaks, who, is ready for that challenge, and what can you do to get better from it. So I would love to hear from both coaches. And let me also give a shout out to Havasu Football's Instagram and the Lee Williams players for being active participants with us on this thing. It is so fun and a lot of times it's guys nominating their buddies' plays or coaches nominating what they saw. And it's not lost on us either, the big boy play. We love the trenches. It's really hard to quantify sometimes. But we really appreciate all the participation from everybody. It's been a lot of fun. Even hearing some folks say, hey, thanks for the show. Thanks for the
Yeah,
shout out.
definitely. It has been-
Nobody
been
called me
awesome.
out for picking against them.
Right.
Appreciate that, guys.
No, nobody called me out for picking against Lee Williams either, so I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So, great job, guys. Really excited. Both those teams are getting into conference play.
Yep, conference play, region play starting up now. Everyone has region games this week, I believe, except Havasu. I will say, got to talk to Coach Thompson at the end of that game. He talked about how, like, everyone forgets about us Mojave County schools during the regular season. But when the playoffs roll around, they know who we are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's been a little bit of a revolving team, but we have had teams in the state picture at different levels for the last
Yeah, I agree.
10
for
years,
a
you
good
know?
10 years. I mean, we had the River teams in the early 2010s. Mojave has been the team these last 4 years. Havasu has had 2 semifinals appearances.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I think Malk went in deep
Yeah.
into their playoffs in the 8-man world.
Malk's had a semifinal appearance.
We have, and also shout out, I know, again, not Mojave County, but Needles has been into the playoffs a couple times. We have had good football come out of here
Yes.
at varying levels for quite a while. And eventually somebody will put it all together, win the big one, bring it back to the county. But it's hard to tell who that's going to be right now.
It's open. It definitely feels like as this early season has progressed, we have 3 tiers of the 8 schools in Mojave County. And we have the 4A schools in River Valley who have clearly shown they're all going to be competing for playoffs. Even with River Valley's tough start to the season, everything's still there for them. And then we don't know how good Kingman is. We don't know how good Malk is.
We are going to find all that out over this next few weeks. I was actually sitting here going over yesterday upcoming games, who everybody's got, and there's a lot of games that'll show who's who real quick. And that's not, we still have to go over a bunch of these other local games, but there's a lot of games coming up that'll be eye-openers.
Definitely.
And one of the things that drove me crazy about that thing the Standard did is a lot of people don't understand the tiers in sports and football, size, all that other stuff. And it is very often taken in a derogatory way, but it's really not. It's not fair to the kids to compare them one to the other,
Yes.
both ways. It's not fair to compare this performance here or to penalize the kid who's playing
Right.
at a higher level for not performing as well as the kid who played in a whatever tier you are. And they're in those places for a reason, and just not to recognize that is really, it confuses a lot of people. And so it's just not fair to the kids. At the end of the day, it's probably not that big a deal to the average folks, but for the people who are involved, who are putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, it's just kind of a little bit of a frustrating way to reflect all that.
Definitely. I mean, I like that the Standard puts it together, but there is differences in strength of schedule between the schedules that Havasu, Lee, and Mojave are playing and what Malk and Kingman Academy, Kingman are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, that takes us to one of our newcomers.
Yes.
Who have not talked about, and they had an absolutely brutal draw here. Desert Star played Phoenix Christian.
Phoenix Christian, yes, probably the toughest team Desert Star will play this year. 46-7 final. Everyone picked that game right, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Gavin Canning did have a good game, 26 carries for 144 yards. No touchdowns, though. After that week 1 victory, it's been a rough 3 weeks for Coach Clark and company.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I don't think it's a hangover. I think it's just been, tough competition, health. I know that they've had a couple guys that have been banged up, and I think that they're probably right. I don't want to say right where they thought they'd be, but Coach Clark knew they had some tough games on this schedule.
It's important to remember, these guys are young. They have, 4 juniors? Yeah. And everyone else, how many? They got 10 freshmen playing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any team you ever coach, you go out there and you scheme it up the best you can. You give it everything you got with the opportunity to compete and hopefully have a chance to win at the end of the game. I think Coach Clark, I might be butchering his Facebook here, but he said something along the lines of, that's the team we aspire to be one day.
Right.
They're a very good football team. And we've said it before, these Phoenix or even big market schools, that have the ability to bring kids in are often not comparable just because their enrollment is the same. And I have no doubt that Desert Star will be like that one day, and just a little bit more experience, a little more
time,
age under their belt. You know, you talk about that Mojave team having an edge, and they've got, I think, double-digit seniors for the first time in
a while.
And with all due respect, I coached a bunch of those teams. We had seniors in years past who'd never played football before. They didn't necessarily spend a lot of time on the field, so that senior count, right now, Mojave's got 10 seniors that play ball, and you can see the maturity difference in the way they move, the way they hit, the way they react, and Desert Star's got that coming.
Yep, it's just got to give them time. Got to give them time.
Yep, absolutely. So that takes us to
Monument Valley and Kingman. Kingman got a great bounce-back win this week, 48-6 victory over Monument Valley.
Dominant performance by your boy.
Dominant, yes. DeAnthony Bush, 6 for 8, 158 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception that went for Monument's only touchdown of the game. 9 carries, 78 yards rushing to add to it. And then his brother, DeAntoine, 4 receptions, 127 yards.
How many more brothers they got coming up?
3
They might
touchdowns.
be a handful here.
I believe that's it. It's just those 2. Yep.
How are you going to have a football team, only 2 brothers? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. But no, it was a good bounce-back win for them. Got another chance at a victory next week. Things are looking a little better for Kingman.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to some of those early season games go both ways. You talk about, for example, Lee Will having a favorable open. Playing Lee Will as Kingman is a little bit of a tougher task.
Yeah.
That doesn't entirely reflect where you're going to be as a season. And as the season goes on, you're playing conference games, more competitive, a little bit more of a balanced field, and then you can really see where that team's at. And I think the teams like Kingman will benefit from those tougher games early and gives them an opportunity to really, with respect, you battled a tough 4A team.
Yeah.
You lost, you took your lumps, but they learned those lessons that are going to go into the rest of their upcoming season in their conference.
No, I agree absolutely. I think everything's still out there for them. I still believe playoffs is very possible for Kingman High this year. It's just got to find a way to get to that 5-6 win mark. That's the number.
Yep, absolutely. So shout out to those guys handling business against Monument Valley. We expected nothing less. I think we predicted it to go something like that.
Yep.
Takes us to Kingman Academy. We don't actually have a lot of data on Kingman Academy this week.
Yes, no stats from either team posted. What I do know is that this was the other game that you and I had different picks on, and you got this one right. 44-8 win, Bourgade Catholic.
Yeah.
So once again, we are both 5-1 again.
Every time I've watched Bourgade, they were not without athletes. They were not without talent. They even had decent numbers. My only thought is that made for a tough matchup for Kingman Academy. I didn't know a whole lot about them otherwise. We know that Kingman Academy is very, very, they run through the Olave kid.
Yes.
And when you have a deeper team, a little bit more depth, it's tougher to play football that way. So
Yeah,
you got to find a little bit more balanced attack, a little bit different way to go about things. And, we obviously were pulling for the local teams to figure it out, but I'm glad I got caught up on that one because I picked Lee Will in the Havasu game.
That's right, so we're still tied. And then our last recap from last week, Malk and Salome, good game. 28-20 victory for Malk, 3 lead changes from what I was told from people that were there. Rylan Crambrule, 7 for 14 passing, 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Good win for Malk. Malk is now 2-2 on the year.
Yeah.
Still.
And I actually had heard from Matt Rothman that Lisa Conlog had a huge game. I couldn't get a for sure number on how many sacks he had. Somewhere between 2 and 6.
Sounds it's 8 mans.
2 and 6, and I can't remember exactly where I got all that information, that spread of information, but really was pivotal in keeping that game close and giving those guys a chance to win. I really thought that, let me see if I have any better information yet. Sorry, guys.
This was a good victory for Malk. This was a needed victory after the 0-2 start to the season.
Yeah, I got Lasik on a 6-sack night from his DN position. Maybe that's a little skewed because the team may have run some quarterback read option, things like that. The one thing I got from Coach is Cranebule's stats didn't necessarily reflect because they ran so much option. And he made the right read, made the pitch, gave other guys an opportunity to be successful. I appreciate the input, Coach. Thank you so much. Lots of kids stepping up. Malk was down, 14-28 minutes to go, scored a game winner with 33 seconds left. Had to have been an exciting game for them.
I do recall that Owen Honinger, he's still going to miss a couple more weeks, so that's a big thing for them. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I had heard that his injury may have been a little more serious and going to be out for some period of time. Obviously want him to get back, get healthy. He is an absolute game changer. I had also heard Torres is dealing with a hamstring. I don't know where he's at in that process. But glad to hear Malk back on track. Game that they need to win. And then when you're down those key guys that you lean on and other guys step up, as a coach, it's one of the best feelings there is.
Right.
You know, like I'll tell you, there were times where our guys got almost no respect because we had John Williams. And there were games John Williams didn't even play. You know, he cracked a kid in Paradise Honors and got ejected and didn't play in the next game. We ended up beating ALA West that following week. And all you ever heard was, well, yeah, you guys got John. You guys got John. John didn't even play that week. Right. And so for us as coaches, we're so proud of those guys that step up, make those plays, don't wilt when the guy that you typically does the job isn't there to do it for you. And I bet you that Malk is probably just over the hill pumped on that win right there. So
yeah, it's definitely great to see that this next man up mentality, these kids are showing up and they're working hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So did we miss any of last week's games?
No, we did not. So now let us go to our predictions for this week's games. We will start with Mountainside and Desert Star.
Yeah, listen, shout out to everyone keeping it close.
Yes. We are still tied, just one game ahead of the public. If I recall, whoever wins this is paying for gets
steak
a
dinner
free
in
dinner.
the other
in the other town.
The other guy's town. So
yeah,
where's the steak dinner spot in Kingman?
My bet is we're probably going to go to the Dam Bar. So I'm excited.
I used to go to Dam Bar and get burgers after softball or golf. So
okay.
I used to work with a guy, TJ Cutshaw, who. Big golfer, played softball with him.
I know Cutshaw.
Yeah, and so we'd always go to the Dam Bar and run amok in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
What's the great steak place down here?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a Mojave Steakhouse guy. My daughter loves going there. It's her absolute favorite. I'm more of a prime rib guy, so if we go on a Thursday, I'll get a prime rib. But if not, any of the spots across the river, pretty good. But yeah, I'm a Mojave Steakhouse guy.
Okay, all right, I look forward to that. All right, well, let's start with Mountainside.
I like a bet I can't lose where I'm going to eat either way. So.
Right. Let's start with Mountainside and Desert Star. The public, if I recall, has Desert Star. I think this is the week that Coach Clark turns it around and gets back in the win column.
Well, and Desert Star's on another Thursday night game, right?
Yes, correct.
So their lucky charm might be there. I'm going to go out and try to catch that game. Worked out pretty well last time. Yeah. I'm just saying, maybe I'm a lucky charm.
I unfortunately will not be able to make it. I have a previous engagement, but I got Coach Clark to win this one.
Well, listen, if I go and they don't win and you were the lucky charm, I'm going to be real pissed. So. But, yeah, I can't wait to get out, watch those guys. Really a fun group. A lot of good things to watch out there. I look forward to getting back out there. It's been tough to get to all these games, but I do love when there's a little bit of a spread Thursday, Friday. Yeah. It's kind of a bummer.
And that's what we got this week is
Mojave's
a Thursday,
on
Friday.
The road.
Yes.
River Valley's at home, but on a Saturday.
Yes.
So the field house sits empty on a Friday night?
Yes. Malk is at home on Friday.
Oh, there we go. I can finally catch a Malk game.
Yeah. Yes. So then, so we both got Desert Star, correct?
Correct.
All right. We now move on to Lake Havasu versus Alhambra. The public really likes Havasu, and I agree.
Listen.
Because
Alhambra just lost to Kofa.
Kofa, who just broke their 27-game losing streak.
What happened to Alhambra?
Yeah, Alhambra. And also important to note, Lake Havasu plays Kofa next week. So
boy,
there is a.
You talk about your schedule being heavy, front end loaded. Yeah,
front loaded.
They get a nice little reprieve through here. I actually think Havasu is showing some momentum. I don't know where the original starting quarterback is in returning. The kid throws a nice ball.
Yes.
And then obviously you want to get your athletes back out. I'm sure Halo would rather play the position.
Talking with offensive coordinator Riley Freeman after the game, it sounds like there is a good chance that Trip Burke should be back this week.
Yep.
after dealing with his injury
Yeah,
issues.
kid's a nice quarterback, great
Yeah.
timing, a little bit more traditional as far as on-time throws, things like that. But like I said, if you're going with Halo again, the kid's gonna make plays.
Yeah.
I like it. He reminds me of a young Big Ben scrambling back there, doing everything he can to make a play.
Maybe a little faster than a Big Ben.
Whoa, whoa, hey! Young Big Ben was he was spry.
Young Big Ben was pretty spry. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So
All
I'm
right.
going Havasu. Is that home game or is that a?
That is away.
That is away.
That is away.
And I am definitely not going to Alhambra. So good luck, Havasu. Go get them.
Yep.
And again, shout out to our player of the week. Another big game out of him.
Carter DeVette. Yep.
Yep. Congratulations. So,
All right.
what you got next, Coach?
Next, we got Chino Valley is visiting Kingman Academy at Kingman High Friday night, 7 o'clock. As we know, Chino played Desert Star a couple weeks ago, and that was not great.
Yeah.
All I can say is
I'd like to watch some film of that Chino game. I'd like to see if they're that much improved or what the
Chino's 3-1.
situation is. Yeah.
Only loss has been they got lost 50-8 to a really good Arizona Lutheran team, who's one of the top teams in 2A. They're moved down to 2A. They've definitely appear to have improved, but Chino Valley plays how Chino Valley plays, and I just hope the academy can stay healthy and get out of this one.
Well, and hopefully they go up there and they play a clean game and kind of clear their name, so to speak. They've got, unfortunately, a little bit of a weird, not pleasant reputation currently.
Yes.
And it's not just from the Desert Star game. It's from years and years
from,
and years.
Yeah, you've seen it at Mojave. I've seen it at Kingman. The
And
academy
that's
guys
also,
have seen
listen,
it.
I know Mojave is not the easiest team to play. They are,
This is true. This is true.
they may have a few things to say in every game, but,
Yeah.
you know,
So-
go up there, play a game the right way, play it clean,
Yes.
get the win, get out, do your business. If you're going to go 4-1, you're in a new conference, you have an opportunity to compete, be competitive in that conference or in that division. Man, do it the right way.
Right.
You know, do it the right way. Go
Absolutely.
out, win the games. You know, I'll tell you guys a little story that you probably understand completely. When we got to Mojave, they hadn't won a game in a couple years. Our first year there, we scored 1 touchdown. That was a John Williams. I think he got 9 carries out of 10 snaps on that as a freshman. Up the middle, just willed us to the 1 touchdown we got that year. And those kids had a culture where they knew they weren't going to win. So how did you behave when you knew you weren't going to win? You kind of acted out.
Yeah.
You took your shots where you could get them. And we kept telling these guys, you got to change that. You're not going to be that team forever.
Right.
And, you know, over years and years and years, don't get me wrong, they're still chip, but they're so much more focused on the game than the other crap than they were before. And that's a hard culture to change. And I hope that Chino finds that, you know, with an opportunity to have success, do it the right way, you can also shift the culture, the way you do things. And it was something that we definitely struggled with throughout the years, but it was something that was deep ingrained in the way that they played. Like they just accepted that that was what they had to do to, you know, be proud and fight.
Right, and Chino hasn't had a start like this in a while because Chino, there's some cons to that job. It's a lot of the better kids will end up going to Bradshaw or Prescott. A lot of these, they have fall soccer, which hurts the school with Chino's numbers.
Yeah, that's tough. Soccer players, great DBs. Also great kickers, obviously, but great DBs. Good feet, good hips.
Definitely.
I think we talked about that at the
I
Havasu game.
Yeah, Alejandro Ruiz, the 65-yard fumble recovery. That's a soccer player.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going Chino. It sounds like they are greatly improved, and being in the right size conference makes a world of difference. They were clearly overmatched most of their games in 3A. 2A might be the right fit for them. So best of luck to KA.
Yep. Yeah, good luck, but I also will have Chino in this one. The public has Chino. So let's move on to our next game. Kingman is visiting Shadow Mountain. Shadow Mountain, who we saw 2 weeks ago, get beat up pretty badly by River.
Yes.
And the people like Kingman. I also like Kingman. I think this is, we can stack a couple wins together here.
Unfortunately, that game was so one-sided, you really couldn't get much out of it. I do know that Shadow Mountain had some size. I know Kingman's got a pretty tough little O-line. Not necessarily little. Most O-lines are not.
Not little. There's a few of them are bigger than you.
But I think I'm taking Kingman in this one, too. My guess is that The athleticism of the quarterback is going to be a little bit too much. Even if it's a closer game where maybe they don't get stonewalled like they were against River Valley, I don't think it's enough for them to come out and beat Kingman. So I'm going Kingman in this one. Also keeps me close in our, I don't want to buy you a steak bet here.
Right,
so.
correct. I believe so far we're even picks. All right, so that moves us on to Valley Lutheran versus Malk. I believe the people like Malk in this one.
I know nothing about Valley Lutheran.
Valley Lutheran moved down from 1A after a couple years in 2A. They are 0-4 to start this year. I like Malk in this one.
So in my default, and I don't know, I'm going with the local teams because I just want to see them win. I want to see them do well. If I have some more information, I try to, put it through as much as possible. I hope that they can build on this thing. I hope that they get healthy, get some guys back, and that is a home game. I don't know where's Valley Lutheran, at Phoenix School?
Yeah, somewhere in the Phoenix area, yes.
Phoenix School's traveling up here, especially while we're still playing outdoors, even though it gets cooler in the evening. The weather's actually been awesome. Is a challenge for them.
Right.
That is not a normal trip for a Phoenix school, even a smaller school where they have a little bit more travel. So I think all those things combined, I'm going Malk. Hopefully I can sweet talk my daughter into going and watching a little football on Friday night, and unless my son gets a call to dress in his game, and then I'm flying to Cleveland to watch him play. But
Okay.
we'll worry about that when we get there.
Well,
He's
cross
been
that
dealing with
bridge
a
when we get
high
to it.
ankle sprain for like 3 weeks
Right.
or 4 weeks, so I don't want him to rush it, but it's driving me crazy. I want to go.
You like Malk. I like Malk. I think we should
Malk it is.
Malk it is. Moves us on to our next one. Odyssey Institute is visiting River Valley at 3 p.m. Saturday. I like River in this one. I think Odyssey is much more improved compared to previous years, but I believe River has a giant chip on their shoulder now, and
Well,
I think
Unfortunately, they're not going to get Alvarado back.
Right.
But the backup center did a very serviceable job against a tough Mojave team, and they will get Mikey back. They'll get Gonzalez back. So that is one piece of that puzzle. Now, the interesting thing to me is, what do you do with Deacon?
it's a good point.
Deacon was very good at tackle.
He was.
Do you have that same value? Because I can't remember. Did they move one of the twins back? Did they
I
put
believe
the
they moved one of the twins to blocking back, if I recall.
blocking back, or I couldn't recall, but they did a perfectly fine job.
it was
You
very
obviously lose
solid.
the size. You don't have
Yeah.
the size.
I mean, they still ran for over 200 yards with Deacon not at blocking back. So
Right. So I'm real curious how they go about that. That might be the intriguing thing
Yeah.
that keeps me off of my boat and goes out to watch an Odyssey River Valley game at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
I will definitely be going to this one. I'll be watching some college football that morning, but
So we got Odyssey, who is improved, 3-1,
Yeah,
played
beat
Tonopah
Tonopah,
Valley,
yeah.
13-12.
yeah,
Arete Prep,
Harit Prep, yep. And then so Ben Franklin's
Winslow.
only loss, yeah.
Tonopah 25-0, excuse me. Winslow 13-12. Benjamin Franklin 62-0. That's probably, that's your common game to
That's
compare.
that's a good point.
I think Ben Franklin is, because they've been really nasty. River Valley must have shocked them, really punched
Yeah.
them in the mouth in that game, because they have been pretty dominant otherwise. And so that's a little bit of a tough one there. I'm taking River Valley, obviously. I think they're probably going to beat the brakes off of them. I hope it's a good game. It's a long way to go to not be competitive. Again, it's crazy to look at River Valley at 1-3.
Yes.
And look at the football they've played. They have
Yes.
played good football week in and week out. And we talked about
Yeah.
it. Like, they have a absolutely brutal schedule. Kingman's going to be a tough game. Wick sounds like they're in a little bit of
Dysart, Seton Catholic are
Seton
solid.
Catholic.
Payson,
And then they got Payson, which is they're going to play River Valley type ball. They're going to be tough. And then Dysart, like, they're playing arguably some of the best football and have not the record to show for it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the
It's still all out there though. Like we talk
4
about
games in, you got, and then the reality is, everybody knows, you just got to get in the tournament.
Yep.
You get in the tournament and you're playing good ball, and it's
It'll
anyone's
sort
game
itself
from
out.
there. It'll
Yep.
sort itself out. The better teams will win. Seedings are great, all that other crap, but at the end of the day, a good football team is going to win in the playoffs.
You just got to get there. You win your region. That's still an automatic bid in 3A.
Yeah, and with respect, they're going to win their region by a country mile. So
I think Dysart's going to be interesting.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
So
and I have not caught a lot of Dysart ball, and I do love. This is one of my absolutely terrible time wasting things that I do. Is I will look and see who's played who, try to draw wild. So Dysart's 1-3,
Yeah.
49-10 to Ben Franklin, won 40-0 Santan Foothills, 38-24 to Sabino, lost 38-13 to Valley Christian. Valley Christian, we know, is a good team.
Yeah.
Sabino's got
Sabino's solid, yeah.
solid. I'm a big fan of that coach out at Sabino. Guy does a good job. I mean, they got Wickenburg. You're not going to learn off from that. But I'll tell you, this Seton Catholic game for them on the 26th is a great one for River Valley to get a great idea of where both those teams are at. So
Yep, I agree.
that should be a lot of fun. This is the stuff I love about a football season coming together.
We're starting to get a clear
starting to get a picture.
Yeah.
It's starting to get interesting. Good coaches are now having film to scheme and game plan and really put together something.
Your offense is put together and defense is put together now
Yes.
for the most part.
Absolutely.
You know who your guys are.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I'm really curious to see what they do. It's high school football. You got to play your best guys. You got to play both sides of the ball, whether you like it or not. It's a risk-reward thing. But, man, Deacon's been so good on defense. You hate to wonder if that's going to take a toll. Hopefully this is a game they get ahead of, get out in front of early.
Yeah.
And kind of like a couple weeks ago where a lot of those guys only played half a game. But,
Right.
River Valley gets right this week.
Yep, I agree. So that moves us now on to Mojave at Coconino. Mojave, first 6 games, as we talked about, was brutal, and they are 3-0 for the first 3. That's the good news. The bad news is the next 3 might be tougher.
Yes. Well, they are. I don't even want to say they might be tougher. I think these are all going to be tough. Like, River Valley is a tough football team.
Yes.
Havasu is a tough football team.
Yeah.
If anything, Havasu's maybe lacking a piece or two to really, open things up the way they would like. But they're a tough football team. But I was looking at Coconino, because, again, this is what I do with my life.
Coconino's 1-2, but you look at those 2.
So those 2, they lost by a score to Snowflake.
Who is a favorite
Dominant.
in 4A by many
Absolutely.
people's predictions.
St. Mary's,
Who is
they
3-0.
lost. Yes, who is 3-0. And of that 3-0, this is the rabbit hole I go down all the time. 3-0, they beat Mingus handily. Coconino, I don't know who Empire is, but they beat them 48-0. So they have been very good. So I think Coconino is going to be a handful. I, of course, am extremely partial. I apply no logic at all, and I'm taking Mojave regardless.
So I have been to Coconino's home field. Coconino's home field, one of the probably in my top 5 fields in the state, I would say. I love coaching games there. I haven't had to coach a ton because I only coached at a 4A school for 1 year. But I am taking Coco in this one. I got a feeling.
Yeah, and I think this is the big boy test. I mean, not even to be a knock on any of the teams that they have played already, but they're familiar with one another.
Yes.
Like I said, those kids have played, most of them, 4 years against these teams, and for them to, including Paradise, they play Paradise every year.
Havasu, Paradise, River Valley, you've played them every year for the last 3-4 years
If I had one plea to the Mojave guys, it's dive into that film. You have a new opponent. You're going to have to be better in different ways. They are going to be prepared for you. There's a ton of film of Mojave out there, and those guys have been playing the same essential offense for 4 years. So if you're a coach who's looking for information, there's a ton of it out there on
It's
you.
there, yeah.
And you can't go in there unprepared by not watching the film, not knowing what they do, not knowing who their guys are. Most teams really only have a handful of go-to scoring plays. Unless you're just a powerhouse who's going to run it and you're just going to have to win a fist fight, you need to be on an even playing field, up here. And that is my implore of those guys right now is dive into that film. Every free second, you better have your phone out. You better not be TikToking. You better be breaking down film.
This is going to be a good game, I believe, but I think Coco is going to squeak it out at home. Just seeing how they played against Snowflake to me tells me that Cocoa is a good team this year.
Yeah, I think Cocoa is a good team this year, and that conference is good because I think Prescott just had a big win.
Prescott had a big win. Yep, I got Bradshaw Mountain lost a close one to Snowflake last Friday.
Snowflake is they're a virtual powerhouse.
Yeah.
So I think this is a big time one, and that conference play is really what matters at the end of the day. You can feel warm and fuzzy about winning somebody's freedom games, things like that,
Right.
but your conference play is really important, and this is a brand new conference. Lee Will's going into the same conference, and then you have to play Lee Will.
Yep.
There's this shapes up to be a very, very exciting
Lee Williams
year.
is only going to get better as the season progresses.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Like I said, I think they just learned a lot about themselves, and I think that they will make sweeping improvements from it.
I agree. So, you got Mojave, I got Cocoa. Now we go to our game of the week this week. I will be here Friday night. Prescott is visiting Lee Williams in downtown Kingman at 7 o'clock. What do you think about this game, Coach?
Man, maybe I'll drive up there, get some Five Guys, and go watch that game. My daughter doesn't like Five Guys that much. That's a way tougher sell for me. So I may have to find somewhere else to eat. But I'd love to watch both those teams. I think Prescott is a good team. I think that they're probably a little bit more polished. I'm probably going to take Prescott in that game. And I think really the reason being is I think they're more where they want to be now at this time of the season.
The people like Prescott.
Yeah.
I also agree. I think Prescott is going to win a close game. I think Lee Williams' defense is going to keep it close. I think Prescott, though, Coach Cody Collette's been there for a few years now. He has a legit program. They lost their quarterback from last year. They made it to the quarterfinals in 4A. Their quarterback now plays point guard at University of New Mexico.
Yeah.
They did get a guy in the transfer portal, Giovanni Palucci is his name, Italian.
What are you talking transfer portal in high school? What are we doing here? Come on, man.
And he has looked very good these first few weeks of the season. Only loss was to a good Thunderbird team 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to where you are at in your season. And I listened to a really good podcast the other day, and it was talking about, most teams are really only at their best for, a little window of time. And I can't remember who said it. They said it way more elegant than I would ever. But you got to be good enough on the games you should win. You got to peak when it matters most. And I don't think Lee Williams is peaking right now. I think that, the reality is that they're coming off of a tough loss that was very much could have been their game. They're probably going to be on a learning curve this week. And I think Prescott's probably a little bit more rolling, and that makes for a tough matchup. The only upside is they're playing at home. And I hope that, one thing I was disappointed in is you told me how great the fans were at that Havasu game, Mojave game.
Yeah.
And then we get there,
It's
a little spotty.
a significantly less drop off. The student section went from 200 to
4.
well, maybe I want to say more like 20, but
All right, whatever.
when the game started.
And it was
But
a
it's
school
like-
night or
and
something.
this-
I
it
don't
was
know.
that-
but
yeah, also that's the other thing we learned. Apparently, Havasu is the only high school left in Mojave County that still goes to school on Fridays.
Yeah. So apparently, good for them. Studies over football games. But
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in the fans. Hopefully, Lee Williams, their fans show up. They had a nice little section that traveled down.
Yeah.
Cheered up their
More
team.
than the Mojave fans in the Golden
Yeah.
Shovel game. Yeah.
Yep, which is disappointing, considering that they won a three-peat shovel.
And it's a closer drive.
Listen, I say this as a friendly warning. Oh, I got an ad coming on. It's Pizza Hut. I'm not Pizza Hut guy. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But you Mojave fans should really be enjoying that ride a lot more than you are.
Yeah.
You guys have had unprecedented success. You're graduating a large batch of very talented football players. There is no guarantee that success
We'll continue.
comes back around anytime soon.
Yeah.
So get your butts out, watch those games, support those kids, show them some appreciation. And I hope that those Lee Williams fans get out there because they are in the early phases, the groundwork phases of what could be a very special run. And get out there, support those kids. Sometimes that home field advantage is the difference you need, and I hope that that's what they get.
I agree. Well, you got Prescott. I also have Prescott in this one, so we only have one deferring pick this week, so someone will be ahead.
My emotions are going to pay off. Come on, Mojave.
Yep.
Do your thing, boys.
We shall see, though. So you might go to Pennsylvania.
So they're on the road. They're on the road to Cleveland. They play Case Western this week. My son still just got back to light work this week. He, there's still again good batch of players ahead of him anyway. But I told him since he was little, when you dress that for, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna watch you run out with your team. And so if he ends up saying, hey, I'm feeling better, I'm on the travel list, I'm going to be booking a panic flight to Cleveland, which is only, hour and a half, 2 hours from Pittsburgh. It's not that big of a travel distance, but it's most likely he's probably going to be out another week. Hopefully he gets cleared, gets his butt out to practice. As a coach, you ain't been practicing, boy, you get forgotten real quick.
Right.
And so he's going to have to get out there and, earn his way back into an opportunity, but can't miss my boy.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree. Well, we have a big game today. As you guys can see, I'm wearing my Kingman Middle School shirt. We have White Cliffs at 4 o'clock today. We are currently 2-0. No one has scored a point yet on our defense, so the hope is we keep that going, and I'm excited to play them today.
Yeah, how was White Cliffs?
White Cliffs, they are also 2-0. They have played Mauk and I want to say Needles so far.
Yeah. Needles is usually pretty tough. I don't know what Mauk's middle school's like. I know that they do play 11-man.
I do know they play 11-man, and I know Mauk is better than Fox Creek. This I do know.
Yeah. So get out, watch that game, go see Coach. Come back, bring us a little report. Maybe we'll do a little player of the game for that game just for the hell of it, to give a little light to the middle school. Everything that we're doing for this in the high school is probably very small compared to what they get in bigger cities, bigger markets. I posted a thing today of the national rankings, and you go watch the Bishop Gorman Mater Dei game. It's a college game.
Yeah.
It's college coverage, it's college players, it's college money, it's college facilities. And so we're happy to bring a little bit of something to this area for these guys. And if you think that's not enough, go see what the middle schools get.
That is one thing I will add. I did see that the Pagano Pumas offered a few of the local kids.
Yeah, I did see that.
Had a nose guard from Kingman get an offer. Yoni got an offer. And then I believe Bryson Vaughn, the linebacker for Lee Williams, got an offer as well.
Yeah. So one thing I learned is a lot of these smaller schools try to get out early and often and snag some kids before some of these bigger schools settle in. It was pretty funny. Obviously, when you're a 5-star, it's a different world.
Right.
When you're a local high school player, and let me say this again too. I feel like I preach into the camera a lot. Sorry, Coach. Playing college football is no joke. My son is an example I use, but I could use any other. I haven't talked to Urias yet. He's in Nebraska, Wesleyan, whatever the hell it is, playing ball. Those kids were some of the best players on the field for multiple years in many games. John Williams, again, who did have D1 offers. Those kids are very, very good football players, and they are playing where they are at. Set your expectations with some reality.
Yeah.
I see and hear parents say wild things about D1s, full ride scholarships, and if you have those opportunities, great, good for you, but do not downplay an offer from a school to go play college, especially if they're giving you some financial contribution, of which your academics better be a big part of it.
Yes, I agree. Academics should definitely be first in the search for a college. I also believe, go find a place where you're going to get to play.
Yeah.
You might get a D1 offer or maybe a preferred walk-on deal, but the odds of you making it on a field where you're competing with 80 other guys, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, there's. I think my son said there's almost 30 linemen at that D3 he's at.
Yeah, think about it. You go from a lineman room of 6'7" at Mojave to
absolutely.
30.
Where if one of our linemen go down, we bring in the skinny wide receiver who blocks well to play tackle or whatever the case is.
I still remember the Kingman Academy days. We had kids that were really more fullbacks playing guard for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And colleges, I've learned a lot about, college coaches. They are not really interested in developing you. They want to bring you in to do a job.
Yep.
And that's at every level. And it's funny you mentioned about playing. So I've been, again, because this is an obsession, a lot of the schools that recruited Benjamin that he didn't go to, I've been checking to see how they're doing, who's playing the position they said he'd be playing. And ironically, I think he would have played at a couple of these other schools, but they're struggling. Their O-line's not looking real good. So I don't know what's best for him.
Right.
I'm really happy he went to a good school where it's a good culture, and he's going to have opportunity. He's going to have to earn it.
Right.
If you walk in and you're the man at a lousy school who's 0-3, who had to bring in an 18-year-old kid to fill a gap, that probably isn't a great program or great situation. And those are things you don't necessarily consider when you're just excited to get offers. And there is a little bit of that where these colleges, man, they send you the offer, they get you all excited, they get you in the ether, and they try to get you kind of pinned down or locked down. And you really have to have good input and good knowledgeable people to really lay out what the offer is and what's actually good for you. And you have to check your ego. If your feelings are overriding what is actually good for you, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to make bad decisions.
I agree. And while I did just say that, go find a place you can play, but a good culture is a great place to go to. Because I still remember when I was in high school, I played baseball for Kingman Academy, and I was probably the 13th guy on the team. That being said, though, we won 2 CAA titles. We lost 2 games in a 3-year span. I had fun. It was fun. Now, could I have transferred to Kingman High back then and probably have started? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the wins, the moments, those are the things that I still enjoy.
Yeah. I think his Kirk Cousins has a great little Instagram video where he talks about the experience of playing high school ball is still the most fun he's ever had. And you're talking about a guy who's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, played a high level in college. Was he a Michigan State guy?
Michigan State, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got to kind of temper the Instagram rah-rah of it all and really get down to why are you playing, what are your goals. If you just want to play for the sake of playing, then yeah, go play wherever. Don't consider the educational. But at the end of the day, you're playing this game to come out of it a better person, a better man, a better, contributor to society. I've said this since these kids were 10 years old or probably younger. If you're just good at football at the end of this thing, man, we did you a disservice.
Right.
If you're just good at football, after all that you put in, you miss the point.
I agree. And that's what got me into coach too, is part of it is I wanted to stay close to high schools. I just enjoyed high school so much. I didn't want to completely give it up. But at the same time, seeing guys like Coach Kramer, who was our football coach when I was the manager at the academy, seeing how he impacted these kids' lives and how they still talk so highly, how I still talk so highly of Coach Kramer. It's and that's kind of my goal. It's just because most of these kids, a lot of them are going to get to go to college, get these nice jobs and everything. A lot of these guys will still stick around our community, and that's kind of my goal, is make these guys good members of the community.
So I was the complete opposite. I never wanted to coach. My ego was way too, I'm a good player. I don't coach. And it wasn't until I had kids and it opens up doorways that you didn't know existed in you. And then you go, oh, there's more to this than just me being able to throw something,
Right.
And that doorway then shows you all the other stuff. And it's really funny. I've talked to a lot of people, and I feel bad always putting my son's stuff out there, but he was talking about values and what he offers and this and that. And it's so funny because sometimes these kids don't even realize the values or the things that they have gained that are valuable in the real world. They don't even view them that way. They're so consumed in the moments of winning, being good at this thing or whatever, that they don't realize working hard is a value, being tough is a value, being reliable is a value. There are so many things that they do every day. Being personable is a value. I mean, you ever talk to a kid and they have zero social ability?
Right.
I mean, there are so many things that they have gotten very good at that they take for granted that they don't realize are actually values that they have cultivated through tough conversations with coaches, teammates, having a hard time, bouncing back from injury. You have any idea how tough it is to fight back through an injury and overcome that. Like, that's adversity. You talk about adversity of just a football game. Man, that's emotional adversity. That's pride. There's a lot of things there. There's so much more that these kids are picking up that they don't even realize that they're picking up.
Right. And football is just such a great teacher for these kids. And we have winners, losers in football games, and we have winners and losers in life, unfortunately.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. People will get that job interview, and there will be 5 other guys that did not get that job.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if you're afraid to even compete for the opportunity to fail,
Right.
what are you going to do with yourself?
Exactly.
I mean, you're just going to, I don't want to pick on anybody, but, you're just going to sit in your mom's basement and be like, well, I'm better than that.
Right.
No, you're not. This is where you are. This is what you are. Go out, compete in the world. You're going to win, you're going to lose. When you get your opportunity, make the most of it and see where it takes you. That's
day,
football in a nutshell.
Every day is a chance to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Well, I think that was a...
Don't get me ranting. I mean, listen, I really am, and I'll tell you, it translates to what I do here at Findlay. I mean, we have teams we manage. We have guys we can count on. We have guys that we know need a little bit more work. We have, all these things. And the parallels when I was coaching football to work were not that drastic. I mean, they were very similar. And I'd imagine that you find that in a lot of things. So
every day in my job, especially working as a department manager in Safeway, there's a lot of correlation between coaching and everyday work.
Absolutely. So I guess we say all that to say, man, find your opportunities. Don't let pride get in the way of a good opportunity for you. I'm going to tell you right now, anyone who's played college football knows college football is something to be proud of. So get out there, get your offers, find a place to play, talk to the coaches.
Any level.
Ask every dumb question you can think of, and then get out there, get an education, and get your life going.
Exactly. I agree. Well, I think that's all we got,
Listen,
Coach.
I can't wait to do this again. We have so many exciting games. We have so many games that are going to start materializing what the length of the season looks like. This is off subject, but in line with the offers thing. I was talking to Coach Mesh and Deacon, starting to get some offers, and hearing those opportunities come in for a local kid is very exciting. So guys, as you're getting offers, we love to hear about it. Just us as coaches, but also it really is something to share out there. Like, showing what can be done out of here is important. I don't think a lot of people realize Havasu football has done a really cool thing. What was Jeff telling us?
About
what did they call it?
Their wall of fame.
Yeah, it has a cooler name than that, I think.
They have this wall of all of their guys that have gone on to play college at all levels.
Yeah, and I think that is really cool. Shout out to Havasu football for that. Also, shout out to Coach Smith for giving us the lay of the land of Havasu and things going on. He is my Havasu football resource. Guy's an absolute stud. Athletic Advantage is where he trains a lot of these kids at. So he knows, if you've trained kids, you know more about them than they know about themselves sometimes. So really, just a fun week of football. Can't wait to do it again this week. So
Definitely.
I'll let you know how Desert started. I'll let you know if I'm a good luck charm or not.
Yep, sure thing.
Good luck, everybody. Have fun. Thank you guys so much. Man, go put that film out there and send it in. I can't wait to see what's up.
Keep sending those highlights.
We'll see you next week.